Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. I'm your Game Master Darius. Last we left off, we finally did a whole lot of freaking shit, and I think we're like a little more than halfway through the game. I say that in the biggest goddamn I hope so sort of a thing. And we had, probably to a lot of people's surprise, taken the Angel mythic path, which has given me some interesting options, to say the least. Sword of Heaven, which will allow me to do a bunch of cool stuff with the spellbook, all this fun stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on now. Creatures affected by, anyways. So yeah. We are now in the actual town of Drezen, having captured it from the hands of the diamonds. I'm sorry, why is there a place called the One-Eyed Devil? That seems a little on the nosy. And we got a bunch of stuff that I apparently need to do now that I'm thinking about it. You'll have to pardon me if I seem a little bit confuzzled about a lot of things, because I've recently moved, and this is actually the first video I'm legitimately recording in the brand spanking new place, so you'll have to pardon me. So we got battered spirit. Even the best people sometimes feel like imposters, pretenders to a position. It is especially easy to fall prey to such thoughts if you were responsible for, or even simply failed to prevent, the deaths of people who were counting on you. The events of the Lost Chapel and Drezen have left a ragged wound in the soul of Erebeth Tirabade, a wound which is now turned septic with self-doubt. Who can heal Erebeth but the commander to whom she entrusted her life? That seems like a terrible idea, considering evil. Yes. Regaining the confidence of the commander, even want that to happen, it is far from clear, but first a conversation with Erebeth is in order. There's a dragon abound. And let's see, at the tavern, so we'll need to do that. Final sunset of winter. Civilization dies. Settlements slowly turn to ruin like broken bones, turning white in the sun. Skeleton now bereft of any kind of life. This is what happened to the Sarkoris. Numerous settlements are now abandoned and forgotten places where long dead people once lived. However, something strange is occurring on Drezen's southern road. Crusader patrol has vanished where the settlements of the old Sarkoris once stood. What's happened to these lands? The commander must get to the bottom of it. Okay, so lift one of my person spirits, hunt a dragon, go find out why people are going missing in the ruins, attack out of nowhere. This is the last chapter. Yep. Crusader scouts are reporting a worrying pattern of through approaching demon armies are normally sighted in advance. Sometimes they seem to appear out of thin air precisely where they shouldn't be. They're cutting off supply lines. They're destroying the arteries that pump life into the cumbersome and greedy body that calls itself the Crusader army. In order to push forward, the commander must know how the demons are masking their forces and put an end to it. And then I gotta talk to a Nevia. Know thy enemy. Finally apply fundamentally new powers on tactics. It seems a similar shift has happened again. Extremely powerful demons are appearing in the territory around Drezen. Their abilities are far different from those of any demons the Crusaders have encountered. Knowledge is the key to victory. That means the commander must learn the secret behind these unusual demons. Any lead could be crucial. It's not possible. The demons have left no trace. And fight a dragon, apparently. Oh, no, this is the one where we gotta fight. Not find, but find Kenabris. Well, protector of Kenabris. Terindalev. There. Are you gonna make me walk to each individual location? Like, I get having a goddamn huge-ass city and whatnot, but holy crap. Just a little bit of... Hello. This is mine now. Maybe not. Tis a book. Not that into the reading at the moment. Hello. Taking that glass. Arcane Weaver. Ooh. Okay, so this dude sells... this dude sells actual clothing of the arcane variety. Cool, cool. Cloak of Cleansing. That's what I currently got. Channels energy to harm undead for the next 2 rounds. They become surrounded by with a fire shield. Interesting. And then he got a button just there. Plus 2 cloak resistance immunity to fire. Plus 3 enhancement on attacks whenever the wearer is polymorphed. A robe of order, which is for monks. Celestial protection. Plus 5 saving throws against demons and lore religion skill checks. CMD to attempt disarm. There's a lot of random little nifty cool stuff. Most of which I cannot yet afford. Let's see, where is this? Yes, thank you. It says house. And apparently Darren is around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Hi, Darren. You know what? Darren asks, not bothering to greet you properly. I've noticed a certain cyclical pattern in my life ever since I met you. First, something happens that leaves me positively intrigued, and I descend into the depth of fear and anger. Then I start to think that it's not so bad. The curiosity comes back, then something even more dreadful occurs. The demons attacking my home and the city around it was unpleasant enough already, but I thought I could compensate for that by striking up a curious acquaintance and having some new experiences. Then my dearest cousin threw me right into the middle of a crusade, and just when I started to see some positives in my current situation, the gargoyles kidnapped me. The slaughter in Drezen following my triumphant rescue effectively put out every spark of optimism that I had managed to gather. Now the city is in our hands again, and it's getting more and more tolerable to stay here. I feel surprisingly good, and I'm even beginning to find the city rather enjoyable. This brings one very reasonable question to my mind. What's the next outrageous and dangerous mess you're going to pull me into? Well, we got a dragon to go fight. Was that an overly verbose and oblique attempt to thank me and impart just how much you enjoyed Drezen? He chuckled softly. Do you really think someone like me is capable of experiencing such virtuous of feelings as gratitude and affection? Most certainly not. Your intuition betrays you. I was just mocking you. There were definitely some sharp insults hidden under all those florid turns of phrase. Such is the way of aristocrats and politicians, and yes, I do like it in Drezen, much to my own surprise. Yep. Later. I got a house to investigate, apparently. Hello, peasant. It's weird that that peasant was just standing there in front of the house. I'm now planning on looting. Prodigal Sons. More lore.
Godspeed.
Why is there just no one here? Ah. Fairy mushrooms. Clearly they've been whisked away into the Galarian equivalent of the Feywild. Hold up. Is this supposed to be like a small tavern? Because look at this place. It is 3 tables and a kitchen. This is supposed to be like a small tavern or something. In case you guys didn't know, we're going to essentially be exploring Drezen. And that's about it. There we go. Well, we've talked with Mr. Snotnose. I love how I leave like this neat little blue trail. Don't know why I get a kick out of it so much, but I do get a kick out of it. Ah, Holy. Should we be able to be getting these yet? Oh yeah, I forgot I also still have a buttload of stuff to sell. Yes, just all of them, please. I was holding shift, that's why it was asking me if I wanted to do the thing. Bulk sell. Love it. All throughout the entire adventure. In fairness, though, I think we did end up pretty much just having a bunch of stuff in our inventory. Bastion of the Lion's Heart. I 100% forgot all of this other stuff that we got. Oh, God damn it. That's right. I forgot that all of this stuff is actually pretty freaking neat. But at the same time, we're not going to be having people that are going to be wielding any of this. Well, okay, if I can find, what's his face again, we'll just probably toss him this dagger. Although I don't know what the purpose of an agile dagger is. Come to think of it. Yeah, it's a dagger. It's an agile dagger with agile on it. Twice. That might be a typo. No, not a typo. What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean. Do I just want to sell the magical chainmail shit? Wait, why is this chainmail 38 freaking gold? It's a +3 chainmail. Three plus 1 rings of protection. Right. Wendu already got a new better belt. I suppose I can keep those until something. Including target. AC against attacks with two-handed weapons. That's actually pretty cool. Carapace. When an enemy lands an attack on the wearer, +2. Oh, right. This is the one that does strength damage if they fail a reflex saving throw. Okay, that'd be 1 more AC. But I'd lose my 2 bonus to Constitution. I do like having HP. I'm going to sell that breastplate too. Extend magic. This is the worst part. Like, look at all this cool shit. The Scimitar of Wind. +2 Thundering Keen Scimitar. Keen Scimitar, which increases its critical hit chance from I think 18 to 20 to 15 to 20. That's like a 1 in 4 chance. Just saying. Solemn Hour, which I have to give over to Sela. I think. Shut up, phone. +2 finesse wielding necrotic rapier. Wait, whenever you cast a vampiric touch spell, it deals 1d8 damage instead of 1d6. Do we even have anyone that can use a rapier? You use a longbow for reasons. She's a bard, by the way, in case anyone forgot about that. You I try to keep at range, but I think your dexterity is not that great either. You're who I have using freaking bastard swords because I'm an idiot. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna have her dual-wielding bastard swords of hope. But I want to see if I can get her to wield the other thing. Blasphemy! Excuse me. +5 competence bonus on persuasion checks. Grants its companions +1 morale bonus on all skill checks. That's insane. That's actually really damn good. That would supersede pretty much any bardic bonuses you get, I think. +2 for all saving throws against mind-affecting effects. +4 morale bonus on saving throws against mind-affecting and compulsion effects. Wait. Oh, it increases your DCs of all saving throws when you're using mind-affecting abilities. Okay, I get it. I understand. Let's see, you also sell diamonds, phylacteries. Ooh. Oh, goggles appear sight. Take 20 on their next dispel magic attempt once per day. Also +1 on cast level checks to overcome spell resistance. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, we're gotta keep on exploring this place. There's a lot. Must press on, indeed. Book, horse, commoner, giant house. Exotic weapons provider. Torag Zurath. Okay, you legit only give exotic weapons. That's not too shabby, actually. That's actually kind of cool. You know, just gotta make sure that your team is going to be loaded up with all the good stuff. Show me what you got. Oh, right. I wanted to double check Sela. Are you proficient? You are not proficient with Tower Shield. It's always a little weird when the martial classes aren't proficient with a Tower Shield. That's not just me, is it? Pretty sure fighters are proficient with Tower Shields. Unless it's a very specific feat that one needs to take. Powerful. Oh. Excuse me, did I sell some of this stuff? I had to have sold some of this stuff, I think. Because I would have very much would have taken the powerful pommel. Or at least kept it. Anyways, where are some of the other nerds that we're constantly seen with? Okay, so that was the loot that I've refused to pick up because it was more or less useless. God, there's a prison, there's a jewelry artist. That's the tavern. You know what? We might as well go... okay, that's a brick wall. Say hey, hello, hi to Urushalay. I'm probably pronouncing that very wrong. You'll have to pardon me if I sound a little bit tired. It's a little bit late, and I legit did come off of work only a couple of hours ago. So that'll be a fun thing to try to get used to. Place has been sanctified. Alright, might as well hey, hello, hi to Urushalay. Urushalay's ruby eyes stare watchfully at passerby who don't notice her even at arm's length. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation, sadness, and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? What are you doing here? I'm watching. She nods at the city dwellers as they hurry past. I'm listening to their conversation, studying their faces. I'm trying to understand what they truly are. Why do you like to watch people? You know, in my own life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction, after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie, or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that's what my life for many centuries. Now I see I knew nothing. A demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death and where to thrust it for a long and painful one, and he thinks that's nothing, and he thinks that's enough. My knowledge, it was of the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to the victims' memories. You don't think that's just slightest bit creepy? What? The succubus blinks, surprised. Really? Why? I don't mean any harm. Well, have you learned anything new about mortals? They love cats. Urushalay speaks in a very serious manner, as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you, but then a moment later she smiles to give the joke away. Alright, I can see why a certain someone I know really loves this character. Seriously, have your observations of humans led to anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I'm only watching them for a short while, but I think I have understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a lie isn't talking, if a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see that isn't true. You mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream for yourself and everyone you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie, because the daydream is your truth. I feel like this is getting a little existential for me, but hey. Tell me about yourself. I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. Well, where do succubi come from? Do you have a childhood? No? Well, yes, but in brief, the abyss is nothing like the mortal world. She makes a gesture in the air, trying to find the right words. You remember life since such... No, wait, you don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally, when a human dies, the Lady of Graves, Pharasma, which freaking... yes. One of the cooler deities of death, decides which plane they go to. Most often, those who arrive in the abyss turn into larvae. You know, the little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other, and the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how that transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them like caterpillars out of butterflies. No, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay? I don't know what happened to the larvae that they used to make me. In my own memory, it begins with vague, fragmentary images. Terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad half-gnawed by the larva. He was crying and begging to be killed, and I pointed at him and laughed, and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me, I feel so ashamed. How did you end up turning against the abyss? Temptation, she smiles sadly. Strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant. And all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the roles of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. She looks away. My last victim was a priestess of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. Mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams, so I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, forgive me, goddess, to mock Desna. This priestess lay in my arms, dying of my kiss. I remember every smallest detail. The cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back into her head, her weak whisper, so difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like, but the goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there far longer than I planned. What did Desna do to you? As a punishment, she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke with a flick of her finger. The gods rarely trouble themselves with lives of mortals, and even less so with demons, but for reasons of her own, she paid me special attention. She awoke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me. All those humans. I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them. And placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all of their hopes and pains. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to talk about this. You see tears well up in the succubus's eyes. She wipes away her tears and continues. The most important thing I realized was that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams, and that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself, if only I can understand who I am. I have to say, too, I think that the way that demons and devils are made, and by extension, I think also Celestials in Pathfinder's world, has got to be one of the more fascinating ones. Because it's basically, when you die, you're sent to you're judged by Pharasma and sent to your particular level of whatever alignment you were. If you were a good person, to the, lawful good, chaotic good, blah, blah, blah. If you were evil, did evil things, you were sent to the abyss or to the nine hells. And you came there as a weak, pathetic creature, otherwise known as a practitioner, something like that. And in the abyss, it was as a larva. You don't remember a damn thing about your life, and basically, if you died as a demon, you were sent back into the great cycle of souls being cycled through, living and unliving and all that fun stuff. But if you became strong enough as a larva, you would become a demon. A pathetic demon by the name of a lemur, I think. But then other demons could take you as a lemur and sculpt you into another stronger demon with other lemurs. So when she says, when she's constructed of all the mortal souls, that's literally what it is. She's a bunch of these small clay-like demons clumped into a more powerful succubi. Always kind of love that when it comes to demons in D&D and Galarian and whatnot. So you don't know who you are. Do you know who you are? Are there many mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, and what do you dream of? And I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Each is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desiring. Desires for sex, for flattery, for food. But now I have me, and it's amazing, but it's so complicated. She makes an apologetic gesture and smiles. What did you do after Desna converted you? I traveled. In the beginning, I thought it was wise to keep away from demons and their temptations, run off Absalom, or perhaps even further to another plane. But then I realized I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called to me, tempting me, seducing me. If I ran away, I would soon return to my old habits. She forced the word from her mouth. That is why I came here to join the war, to remember who my enemy was. To defeat the demons, not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well. Because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy and regularly reported back to the priests of Desna whenever I learned whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I've never been caught, but when I learned that Discari was planning my attack on Canabras, there was no time for caution. Risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. Could have joined the Crusaders openly from the start. Maybe I could have found a unit that would accept me, or maybe the first mortals I revealed myself to would have me killed. Or worse, I might have ravaged those foolish enough to trust me. I preferred to act in the shadows until I knew what to expect from myself and others. So you worship Desna now. The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be impudent. I'm grateful to her, but I try not to trouble her with my prayers. That's why you're a bard and not a cleric. We are being attacked by demons with unusual powers. Do you know anything about them? She thinks for a long while. Finally, she answers hesitantly. Back in Alushinura, there were rumors about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Discari performed on their troops to make them stronger. Here on the mortal plane, these rumors were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zonkuthon. Some say they fed on the blood of angels or Clipoths or demon lords. Clipoths, by the way, are kind of akin to demons, except they have no human distinctions in their appearance. It's all animal features, and it's kind of cool. Some say they're actually older than demons, I think. Still, others say there are no experiments, and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future, a future in which the demons have already taken all of Galarian. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumors give any indication of where these demons come from. I'm sorry I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. Tell me about the Abyss. I can't tell you about all of the Abyss. I only seen a small part. If you like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles of Alushindura. Alright, what about Midnight Isles? In the ocean of Ishiar, I hope I'm saying that right, not far off the mouth of the river Styx, there's a chain of islands. This is the realm of Nocticula, demon lord of assassins, darkness, and lust. Beautiful, deadly creature. Even demon lords aren't safe from her deadly seductions. The number of demon lords she did seduce and assassinate is formidable. Gotta be careful about that, because she's the queen of the succubi. There's no sun there, only a moonlit night alternating with a moonless one. Each of the islands is one of Nocticula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you see, she cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Arushala. The Porphyry city is Nocticula. I kind of wish that they had a pronunciation guide with this game. Serious. There's no city like it in the mortal world. Absalom is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Some come voluntarily, not only from Galarian, but from other planes as well. Noctula keeps an open boundary and enjoys having many guests, merchants, and travelers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the most thriving business in the city. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves until it's their turn to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, errant, of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. Are there any places of interest in Alushira? The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets where the slave trades take place. I grew up in the mansion of Lady Vexelia. Valexia. I read that wrong. Her house is always full of guests doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performance is not to her liking risk remaining at her house forever. Kind of a weird way to go about it. The main attraction of the succubi city is, of course, the brothels, the 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there, you can find the harem of ardent dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Shamira, Nocticula's right hand and mayor of Alushira, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. Arenas? The most famous of them is the Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously without breaks and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win, it only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above it all are towers of the House of the Silken Shadows, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the delights of the succubus queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure, not theirs. What can you tell me about Nocticula? She's called the Lady in Shadow. They say she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful demon of the demon lords, but This hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building her kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamash too, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess. She enjoys killing, but her favorite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there are no other games to play, and even then she backstabs from the shadows. Her favorite weapon is the crossbow, though a silk garret would suit her better. If you should ever meet her, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game, and most importantly remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. Well, thanks, no. What do you think of the powers I have given you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. When you have so much power, it's just easy to decide you're a god and the mortals are your toys. Perhaps I should wait until we defeat the forces of the Abyss. That's precisely what these powers are for. She thinks a moment and speaks softly. You take a great risk. I'm not sure I can handle the temptation. It's hard enough as it is. I hope that this doesn't lead down a weird route. May I ask you a personal question? The kind of question a mortal might ask a succubus. You want to talk about sex? She looks you in the eye. Ask me anything. I'll not keep secrets from you, but don't expect to hear anything light-hearted or pleasant. The kiss of a succubus is deadly, isn't it? Not just the kiss. Any caress of any kind sucks the life from mortals, and there's nothing I can do about it. She touches her lips ever so slightly. For mortals, tenderness is tenderness and violence is violence, but I don't know what it's like to kiss and not inflict pain. I just hope my observations of mortals will help me understand young lovers, old spouses, even what mortals condemn as promiscuity, to tell it all looks like something amazingly human. This is actually kind of amusing to read some of this stuff, but nah, that's straight up flirting, and no. You mean you don't just watch people during the day out on the street? Well, I never touch anyone. I never harm anyone. I just watch and listen. Is that bad? Let's just say they wouldn't be happy if they found out you were watching. Don't worry, they'll never find out. Don't forget, I'm a very good spy. So what's sex between demons even like? Everything demons do is a part of a cannibalism. Excuse me. Each devours mortals and other demons in their own way. Some enjoy literally tearing off pieces of flesh with their teeth. Others like to subdue and turn their prey into slaves and living tools. Some feed on others' humiliations. It comes in different forms, but the essence is always the same. Another being is a subject to be used for your own pleasure. Demon sex doesn't differ from any other type of violence. In my former life, it was something I did to others or others did to me. Only one person ever received pleasure, not the other. Do you still feel desire? She keeps a long silence as she searches for the right words. You see, on the one hand, my succubus nature remains with me. I feel the desire I feel is the one of my old life. When I look at any mortal, I immediately imagine how... She looks away. But that feeling, that desire, it's not what mortals feel. When you like someone, you don't ponder how good it would feel to drink their soul, do you? You think about how good it would feel to be together. Together, you see? You know how you want someone and at the same time not want to destroy them? For me, it's always one and the same. True despair rings in Arushale's voice. I'm not even talking about love, just the common mutual affection of mortals when they're not poisoned with violence. Now I know that I've never felt it. It's hard to imagine how that's even possible. I can actually imagine this coming from the depths of Aaron's heart. Love is a wonderful feeling. I believe you'll be able to experience it someday. I hope so. It's just that she brings her head to her chest. I don't deserve it. Who would dare love a predator from the abyss who, by her very nature, is unable to return those feelings? Aaron's an evil bastard, but he does believe in love. That said, he's not going to just, you know, give his love to anyone that I literally just met. Do not lose hope. One day you will find someone to teach you how to feel. Thank you. It's hard for me to imagine right now, but I can still hope. Well, thank you for being so open. Gotta go. Being told at the end there, I'll be watching you, is just a little...
We march ahead.
Yeah. Arsinoe? Woman in gold embroidered cleric's robes greets you with a polite bow. Her eyes, the color of molten gold, gleam brightly on her dusky face. Greetings, Commander. My name is Arsinoe. I'm a messenger from the Temple of Abadar in Absalom, and I came here assuming the defenders of the fortress could use my services as a cleric. Perhaps you've heard about the wound that sometimes opens in my chest. Are you familiar with this kind of ailment? She quickly probes you with the skill of an experienced healer. So the wound was right here, and then it disappeared and reappeared. Amazing. No, this is the first time I've heard of such magic. What do you think it might even be? I think it's some kind of demonic corruption, or particles of chaos from the abyss have entered through the wound into your body and made it so unstable. Sounds quite interesting, incidentally. Judging from the records of researchers of the abyss, stranger things have happened in this cursed place. Can you give me some advice on how to heal it? I'm sure that you've already used the purification and chaos warning spells, and for obvious reasons, you do not have the options of leaving the campaign and going on a long pilgrimage to various shrines. Since that's the case, keep a diary. Make careful and systematic entries about your well-being. If it gets worse, record the circumstances under which it happens. I'm afraid this is the only advice I can offer. Can you try to heal it? I'm sorry, but I do not have the right to do that. A healer who makes a blind attempt to heal a patient who is not on the verge of death is an irresponsible fool. You do not seem to be dying, so we will not take any unnecessary risks. Thanks, I suppose. What services do you provide? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. Even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them, I'll be happy to read it for you right here. However, take care out there on your travels. The scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use the scroll while you're on the move, you need a spellcaster who's magically trained. Yeah. How'd you end up in Drezen? The story has grown longer and longer over the years, yet sadly it never gets any more interesting. I was born and raised in Absalom. Soon I realized that bringing the word of Abadar to places where it's already been heard was too easy to challenge for a cleric like me. I've traveled all across Galarian since then, watching civilization bring enlightenment to the wildest of places. This brings joy to my heart. It makes me feel like I serve a god with my deeds and not only with my words. The tiny barony and the stone lands that have been my home for a very long time eventually turned into a strong and prosperous kingdom, and I feel I had to go somewhere else and bring the blessing of Abadar to someone who really needed it. It will take quite a long time for Drezen to recover and become an unfailing stronghold once again. I'll do my very best to help. Alright. Yep. Sell scrolls. You just have a lot of freaking scrolls of Raised Dead. I can't complain. Probably should consider the prospect of just buying a bunch of resisting elements. I think we're good for the time being. Jeebus. Oh, I can actually enter the church temple. Ugh. Clonk, 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 clonk. Sanctified. Sanctified. Don't know why this temple seems so sinister. There's even a point to me coming into this temple. Besides going, aha. Loot. I'm stupid enough to try this at least a couple of times. Hey! Don't need no thief. Just sheer dumb luck. God damn it. I'm gonna say as a cleric, or even as a war priest, and just kind of sick of hearing the good deeds of Iomade. Just saying. Which is a little bit funny considering, you know, it's basically going to be the entirety of the rest of the game, isn't it? I won't lie, I was kind of expecting a little bit, what was it I was expecting? I suppose I was going to expect Arushale to, be a little bit, you know, talky. She did just join the party and whatnot. Oh, sound like Sila's in the middle of some violence over here. Sila? Where are you? One moment, folks. So about that, I had to make sure that schedules were scheduled. Where the frick are you? Here in the barracks? Oh, there she is. Didn't see her highlighted. Okay. I'm not sure if she has any other dialogue. Doesn't seem like it. I'm also trying to be a little bit careful with my mouse clicking, because it's been a little bit slow, we'll say. Alright. All that was the barracks, so I think I want to say hey, hello, hi to Wendu. Assuming, of course, that she's anywhere around here. Coffee time. There we go. Ooh, Wendu, my dear. Am I imagining things, or do you find me attractive? She smiles playfully in return. Maybe I do. I like people like you, people who are strong, determined, who don't hide behind others. Well, I like you too. Then why am I here and not in your bed already? Oh my. Wendu smirks and snaps her teeth playfully, showing off her sharp fangs. If you want me, I'm not opposed to the idea. I've long been wondering if you are as good in bed as you are in battle. So whatever romance tree that there might be going on, I think I'm progressing rather well. Anything more about you? No? Oh, hey, there it is. Ooh, and that's how you can immediately kill that. Yeah, screw it. Wanna have some fun? Just you and me? Growling softly, Wendu breaks into a smug smile. You didn't have to ask. And they go bumping uglies. And they go bumping uglies. Wendu stretches her... Oh, didn't mean to click that. Wendu stretches her muscles with grace and kind of animal shamelessness, directing a contented grace glance at you from under half-closed lids. That was good. I wasn't wrong about you. Like a satisfied cat, the huntress smiles softly and runs her fingers along her body over the places your hands touch only moments before. Her little claws carefully scratch her firm, scars-covered skin. Examining Wendu's scars. Among the variety of battle scars, a rather gruesome ragged scar on her left collarbone catches her eye. It's an uneven line that goes along her shoulder, skirting it and ending at a shoulder blade. Several long scars stretching across the window egg's back suggest she has been whipped. You see fresh crimson cuts and abrasions on her elbows and chin. Some of them look quite deep and were hastily pulled together with crude stitches. Over time, they will turn white and become the newest additions to the landscape of scars on a fighter's lithe body. Tell me about your scars. A flattered smile graces her lips. Oh, I've got plenty of those. Which ones do you want me to tell you about? This one on your collarbone. Where'd you get that? Pride flares in the huntress's eyes. I got this one off a dire rat. It was a good hunt, and after the tribe named me the best hunter. What about the encounter? Was one tough dire rat as big as horses are up here on the surface. It's old, cunning, and vicious. We've never met the likes of it before. Another Nether and I ran into it when we were scouting some distant caves. The rat snatched the guy first and dragged him into its burrows, and I rushed after them. I cornered it in a cramped little cave, and I yelled and singed its whiskers with my torch. I got it nicely riled up, in short. It jumped at me, jaws snapping, and the first thing I see is my whole arm disappearing into its maw. My spear got smashed to pieces, and the chunks of wood that I was holding in my hand got stuck inside its throat. The beast was wheezing, writhing, hopping around me like on his hind legs, trying to bite my arm off. I just held the wood on my spear tighter while I groped for the knife on my belt. As soon as I did, I sank the blade deep into the old rat's crotch. It squealed like you wouldn't believe. All the young rats in the caves were mourning the loss of those gray family jewels that night. With eyes half closed, Window Egg savors the pleasant memories. Was dying for half a gong, tried to get on his feet again 6 times, long-toothed beast. I just knocked it back down on the rocks till it finally kicked the bucket, and only then could I get my arm out of its maw. No one in the tribe had ever done anything like that before. No one. And you weren't afraid to... Yeah. And you weren't afraid to go after that monster to save your friend. Heh, no. He never stood a chance. Saw the rat shoot right through his spine. But he did have a nice axe and a decent bow on him when he died. And the tribe can't afford to lose good weapons. You need weapons to hunt for food. So I didn't go after the rat to save a friend. I went to get back the axe and bow. And that's what I did. Now, Scar just adds to your appeal. I know. Works like a charm on warriors. As soon as they see it, they go soft as putty because they understand who they're dealing with. These marks on your back, are they from a whip? Were you punished? Punished? Could say that, yes. I was a very naughty girl, and I was punished for it. But I also left my fair share of scars on others. Hey, you like it rough. Her lids lower, and she releases a sensuous hiss. Yes, power excites me, and feeling my own defenselessness just adds an extra thrill. My back burning from the bite of the whip, a firm hand resting on the back of my neck, my partner's voice hard as steel. Is there anything more sweet and tempting in this world? Only me standing behind my lover with my hands wrapped around their necks, squeezing. Biting her hip, Windowag sends you a long look filled with shameless promise. You have some interesting proclivities. Everyone has a right to some fun every now and then. Her eyes roll back dreamingly. Where'd you get these fresh scratches? In battle? Ah, that's nothing. I had a fight with a few crusaders. 5 of them, to be precise, but I think I got the one in the chin before that. And that was a good honest fight, one-on-one. Why'd you pick fights with the crusaders? She presses the long hair away with a nonchalant gesture. Make them respect me, of course. There's no better way to gain recognition than knocking out the biggest local bully. Besides, some Uplanders still don't know what they should tread lightly and keep their thoughts to themselves around the proud folk of Netholm. So sometimes I have to put those loudmouths in their place, and well, fighting is fun. With a pleased laugh, Windowag admires her bruised knuckles. Don't give them an inch. No chance of that. Anyone who dares to disrespect me will be spitting their pride out along with their teeth. Curiosity's been satisfied. Wendu looks at you with interest. You got a lot of interesting scars yourself. One day you'll tell me about them. Thank you for tonight. Flashing her fangs, Wendu shakes off her sweet languor. Right, it's time to go and kill someone. Yeah. Well, alright then. Hey, my personal chest. I suppose I should deposit a couple of these things. Just so as I'm not, you know, completely laden down with shite that I'm not going to use for a while. Still curious about the carapace. I half expect to sit out that door and someone to go, God damn, could you not have toned it down a little bit? I'm not even sure where the hell I am right now. Oh, hi, Erebeth. Oh, god damn it, I'm all the way back out here. I don't want to talk to Anivia and freaking Erebeth yet. That means responsibilities. Outside. Oh, this acts as a... Alright. Streets, I guess. Ugh, I suppose I should be calling it an episode. I mean, it's not like we didn't make much progress. We talked to a bunch of people. Got a feeling I do want to go to the tavern for some reason. Ugh. And yeah, we talked to the newest member of the party. We got some Wendu-based poontang, as it were. Like, legit too, I will continue to say that I think of all the characters that there might be a possible, you know, relationship thing with, Wendu just makes the most sense for Errant. Excuse you? Oh hey, it's Warm Autumn Haze. I've been talking to him randomly every now and then. Well, I'm sure nothing bad has happened in here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm seeing if there's anyone highlighted in green, basically. But I think after seeing that there's no one here, I might just call it an episode. Really? No one? I won't lie. I do know that What's-His-Face is supposed to come back, the storyteller. At some point. The question is just where the frick it is. Because dude is I'm sitting on a bunch of experience points worth of pages to give back to him. Oh god, that means I'm going to have to do a lot of reading for him too. Don't know how I feel about that, but I'm going to go ahead and save. Freaking, yeah, seriously, the last time I had played and saved was here. 50. Ah, yes, let's platy 50. 50 episodes of this so far. Goddamn, says I. Goddamn. But, call an episode here. When we return, we got more of Drezen to experience, probably more people to talk to, and some pretty cool tavern music to jam out to. I'm dancing right now. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I'm loving playing it. And as always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.